Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Kayla, and today I am going to be doing a story time get ready with me, and this has to do with my whole life story as a healthcare worker, what I've done, where I've been. And so I wanted to do it kind of in a sense of like the things that I like to do, and I wanted to do a story time get ready with me. So we are at my vanity right now, and this is where I normally get ready. So this is where it all began. So let me just get my face primed really quick and we will get started. Okay, so where do I even begin? Oh my goodness, it's been so many years since I have graduated high school, and that is pretty much where my story begins. Where do I begin? So it all starts my senior year of high school. I was put into a program that was for makeup credits. So I was not that great in high school with just doing my work in general, but this school totally fit who I was as a person. I always wanted to be on homeschool, and I always wanted to go just to a different school than where I was at. I'm not saying that the school I went to was bad, but I just know that my education could have been definitely a lot better somewhere else. So anyway, I went to the school for makeup credits and I ended up loving it. I love the whole homeschool program thing. That's why one of my kids does like it and the other one doesn't. So my son loves it, my daughter does not, and she's in regular school now. But that's where it all begins, in high school, my 12th grade year. I started this school in the middle of summer, and just kind of the way that they do this school is they try to figure out like what your goals are, what your ambitions are, like where they're at, and they want to see, they do like personality tests to see what best would fit your specific needs as an adult of what you want to do when you get older. So we did that when we first got into the program, and we got credits for it right away, which was amazing. It was a really easy class that we all took, and anyway, so we took the test, and mine ended up being in kind of just someone that does healthcare work, helping, being in charge, being the boss, or just doing things that involve like those types of tasks. Anyway, what I wanted to do though, because my mom, and I'm sure plenty of you from the year 2006, 2007 know that everybody's parent was telling you to go to college, go be a nurse, do this, do that, And so that's what I had my goals set for. I wanted to be a registered nurse. I also wanted to be a cosmetologist. So that's kind of where this all begins, where I'm at right now. I love doing makeup, and I love medical things like phlebotomy. So anyway, so I went through my first semester. I loved it. I had a job. Kevin had a job. We're high school sweethearts. So we ended up, let me get into doing my makeup. So we ended up just, kind of just doing our thing and being like adults that year. It didn't really feel like we were in our senior year of high school. We just kind of felt like we were just doing our own thing. So we had a job and we were doing our own thing, and I had a car, and, just living the free life and doing whatever we wanted. So yeah, that's just what I did my whole first semester of high school. So anyway, next part of this story is me talking to my counselor. And so I didn't really know what would fit me best, as in to benefit me for nursing. So I went to my counselor because I knew I could get ROP credits and I didn't have to pay for the schooling. So I knew that's what the initial reason was. I wanted to go there because I could go to school while I was going to school initially and have a career, right? And so yeah, that didn't work out the way that I had originally planned it to. So, okay, so I talked to my counselor, and he was like, oh, you don't want to do medical assisting. That's not really going to help you with your nursing career. You should be a certified nursing assistant. The class is a lot shorter. You'll be able to fit in another medical type class for before your year is up, right? Because I didn't hear about the ROP thing until halfway through my senior year, and I would have done something else my first semester, but I had no idea it even existed. So anyway, I'm really big on that now because my kids, you know, they know that's how I kind of initially started to where I'm at now, technically. So that's where it all began, was certified nursing assistant school. So I am a state of California registered certified nursing assistant. And what that is just, those are the people that work in the nursing homes. They, they just help with the people that have dementia. They do home health aid as well. And I was planning on doing once I got out of school, I wanted to do the acute care assistant because, like I said, I wanted to be a nurse. So I needed to get that experience before I could actually go to school and do nursing, right? Okay, so I start the program. It's all fun and games, you know. We learn just how to do all the basic stuffs. We learn how to do all the basic stuff as nurses, you know, how to make beds, how to keep track of time. We learn military time, things, you know, just basic things that you need to know as a certified nursing assistant, because not everybody really has an idea of how that all works before they get into that program. So that's where the basics are. You learn how to make a bed correctly, which there is a specific way on how to make a bed. What else? We learn blood pressure. We learn how to count auxiliary. It's just very basic nursing, right? Feeding times. We learn how to take care of just the patient's general needs, right? And so, yeah, we start off with school and we're learning just all the basic stuff, you know, the things that you see certified nursing assistants doing. And obviously they sprinkle in, oh, we're going to have to, you know, bathe the patient. You're going to have to shave the patient. You're going to have to, and those are things you can't really practice until you do that in person. So yeah, so that's like the first month of the program, right? And so that's like the first month, right? And so we are, you know, just going about our day, and the first day of our externs come, and we're all ready and we're excited, and, you know, just ready and excited because we don't really know what to expect, right? And so this program, we went into a dementia care place, and it was called the Claremont Manor. And I think I put a little too much of this on it because I'm looking directly into here. So we start our first day, right? And we're just shadowing over the other nurses. They're kind of just telling us how their day goes. And we jump right in. I'm not even gonna lie. We jump right in and really start doing like the real deal CNA stuff. We start with feeding the patients in the morning, which was really pleasant and just, you know, very basic and whatever. And then after that, normally in the morning, what do you need to do first thing? You need to use the bathroom. Most of these people were not ambulatory, which means they could not walk. And so we got our first dose of having to change our patients. me being a 17-year-old, very naive child, I did not handle that well. And at the time, I did not even know that I was pregnant with my son. Yes, 17-year-old Kayla, which it was only a few months before my actual birthday. So I was just about to turn 18. This was in February we started this class, the extern, and I turned 18 in April, right? So first day of class, I'm there, excited, ready to go, you know, eager, you know, learning how to, you know, move patients in certain positions so that we can change them and get them ready for the day and, you know, do that sort of thing. They didn't take us straight into bathing, but they did take us straight into just the very basic duties of what we had to do, which was changing the patients and feeding the patients. So, I almost passed out, and I remember the nurse telling me, "You look so pale right now. You need to go sit down. You look flushed." Like, we were changing the patient, and I don't know if it was just the spells that came over me or what it was that happened, but it got me, and it got me good. And I was like, what the heck is wrong with me? I had no idea. I had no other symptoms other than that, let me remind you. And so, yeah, that's my first day of nursing school. It was a huge whirlwind. I was not expecting any of that to be on the first day. I told my teacher, I was like, oh my God, that was just way too much. She was like, this is certified nursing assistant school. This is where you start. And anyway, so yeah, that's where I started, was in certified nursing assistant school. I have so many other stories about that place just in general, but I met a lot of really neat older people that had a lot of knowledge and, you know, that sort of thing. And not all of them were dementia patients. It's like the most beautiful place you could probably send your parents in the area over there, in Claremont, California. And it's a beautiful place. It's like a very rich, high-end neighborhood, and that's like where all the people who had money were sent to. It was a really clean, beautiful facility. That was the reason why we went there. I've never been to a facility other than one like that, so yeah, oh boy, was I naive. That's all I could say. It was an eye-opener, to say the least, because I was just not expecting. We're kind of just setting the blush and the bronzer. That's what I'm doing right now. So, with some more blush and bronzer. And there's my beautiful son right there, being antagonistic to his sister, as usual. And so yeah, that was my first day of CNA school. It was a huge eye-opener, and I had no idea that I was pregnant with my child. So yeah, that's my first day of nursing. I learned a crap ton doing that. It was a huge eye-opener. I was very naive before this. I just had no idea that this was even like a thing. Like, I had no idea that people actually did this as a job. I mean, I knew they did, but I never expected, like, myself, I guess, if that's the way to describe it. I was totally shocked, like, on another level. Oh my gosh, I can't even tell you guys how naive I was when it comes to just life in general. At that time, I was so naive. Clearly, I got pregnant at a young age, so naive. And yeah, that's where it all began, was CNA school. I ended up getting an extra 15 credits for that class too. I have more stories for them. You know, I learned how to shave men. I learned how to, you know, take care of people, put their clothes on, you know, when they weren't ambulatory, which means able to walk or do anything. I learned how to be a more compassionate person, especially to our older age group of people. You know, they're the most in need of our help, I would say. And yeah, but to be honest with you, it totally made me not ever want to work doing that. I never worked, I only worked for a very short period of time doing that. I never really like took that and ran with it. When I was in school, actually, my teacher was the one that actually introduced me to phlebotomy. So that's the reason why this is such like an important story, because my CNA teacher was like, you should do phlebotomy. It would really help as a nurse, right? So I was like, yeah, it would be great to have, you know, double certification. You're able to get a job a lot easier like that. And so that's what I did. I eventually, I didn't do it right away, obviously, because probably about 2 months into that program was when I found out, like, actually, okay, so that program was like 3 months. I didn't find out that I was actually pregnant until like almost a month after that program started. I had no idea. So yeah, I didn't have morning sickness. The only sickness I had was the one time on the first day of school that's when I got nauseous. So anyway, yeah, so that's where my story starts, is certified nursing assistant. I learned so many things doing that. I just, you know, you don't realize how good you have it, like being young and like being youthful and just having all of that as a young person. You don't realize like a lot of things until you are put in that type of a situation. You have a lot more compassion for the elderly. You have a lot more compassion for aging in general, because you want to treat these people as good as you would treat your own family members. You know what I mean? So that's really kind of the eye-opener for me that it gave me. And because I never really, honestly, I never thought about that stuff until after I did that. Like, I had, like, that was never like in like something I thought about, you know? So anyway, I appreciate that, because it actually made me know that I was probably never gonna be a registered nurse, to be honest. Nurses do the exact same thing, but it's actually like 10 times more intense. And I give so much praise to nurses. You literally have no idea. They have, like, you have to be so tough to be a nurse. I'm trying to figure out what eye color I want to do. That's why I keep looking down. And it's not that I wasn't tough enough. It's just, I really was never that great at like long-term school. I'm not sure if I have like undiagnosed like ADD or something, but I know for a fact that I would have never been able to study for the amount of hours that it would have taken to be a nurse. Like, said and done. I'm not going to even sit here and try to deny that. So yeah, but so it has a really big part. It's like a very big part of me, and why I started doing the things that I did and where I started and that whole thing. So I appreciate it, but I never worked doing it. like for long term. I just did it very short term. And then after I had my son, I was like, I'm gonna go to phlebotomy school. So a whole year went by. I stayed home with him. I didn't work. I did go to college. So I started off going, there's a whole nother part of this story, but we'll get into that the next time we go in. But I ended up, after I found out that I was pregnant, deciding that I was gonna move out of the state. So not only was I a young mom, I decided that I was gonna move out of state with my fiance's family. And yeah, so here I am, barely graduating high school. This is like so much TMI because a lot of people don't know about this stuff, and it really shaped the person I am today with the decisions I make in life and that sort of thing. I had no remorse, like, whatsoever for my parents. I'd say probably mainly because they were going through a divorce and I really just didn't care about anything that had to do with that. So I was just like, you know what? You guys are doing your thing. I'm doing my thing now. I'm having this baby and that's that. Like, you can't tell me what to do. I'm 18. That's pretty much what happened. So, yeah. So I finished my CNA program. I got an A in the class. It wasn't very hard to get an A. You just had to do what you need to do, be a compassionate person, care about people, and really, you know, take it to that level of treating these people as if they were your own family members. So passed that class, got my 15 credits. I ended up taking another ROP class, I ended up taking another ROP class. I want to blend this out. And it was for calculations for like meds. And to be honest with you, I was just like, this is not for me. I am not a math person, to say the least. Like, I am terrible at math. Terrible. And it was not fun. And so I just quit it. I didn't need the credits. I was just doing it because I thought that it would be a good class to take for nursing, clearly. And I should have finished it. I was like halfway through. It really wasn't that difficult, to be honest with you, but I was too busy trying to figure out my life. And, you know, I was like, you know, about to graduate. I was like, you know, almost 6 months pregnant, 5 months, 6 months pregnant. Had a lot going on. I was making decisions to move out of the state. And so my first college classes I ever took, I did them in the state of Georgia. So, and that's pretty much where it begins, is there. And that was a huge eye-opener for me. I was, you know, not on my own, obviously. I had my fiance's family there and that whole 9 yards. You know, they showed me so much, like, as in how to be a mom. My sister-in-law, we lived with her, and she had my niece at the time, and she's 2 years older than Jeremy. So I learned a lot from her, like how to take care of a baby and like the whole 9 yards, you know, because I really wasn't aware of how to do that. So I learned how to be a mom over there. I also did college. She pushed that really hard on me, and I'm really grateful for it, even though I never finished it or anything like that. And yeah, so big eye-opener. Kevin, you know, did his, believe it or not, Kevin was a fireman, and he was going to go do the whole fireman academy. He was a volunteer at the time, I'm really loving the way this looks. He was a volunteer, so I just stayed home and he worked and he did his volunteer thing. I got to know a lot of people out there. The South is amazing. These people are so kind and generous and giving and just very sweethearted people. So I remember being in school and them being like, what are you doing out here? You know, because they could tell. They were like, you have an accent. And I'll never forget that, because that was the first time in my entire life I ever heard somebody say something that silly to me. You have an accent. I was like, no, you have an accent. Clearly me being from California and being totally self-centered over here. Yeah, so that's like my first part of my interesting life that I started. We lived there from June until just like right before I had Jeremy. Like last minute, just very personal things were happening and we were supposed to get a house and I was like, this is not gonna happen. Why are you coming in here?
Hey, is it okay if I go to my friend's house?
Yeah, you just made me mess up.
Sorry.
So yeah, I was like, this is never gonna happen. I don't know what I was thinking moving here. I want to go back home to my mom. I don't like the doctors here. Anyway, so that's where it all began though, was there. In CNA school, and then I graduated obviously, but yeah, so I just, you know, I am very adamant about my kids not making stupid decisions. I remind them constantly about their age, reminding them that they don't know everything, you know, that sort of thing. Definitely, I just feel like during that time my parents were just going through their own thing and I was making decisions that should have been regulated more, but they were, you know, doing their own thing, like I said, and so I was making stupid decisions and based off of, you know, emotions and just wanting to be with my boyfriend and, you know, that sort of thing. So, yeah. So that's where it all began. Good old CNA school, and then I went and graduated and moved out of state, and then I came back. But yeah, and nobody really liked the decisions that I made either which way. Moving there, coming back, because they were sad I was coming back. My family was sad I was going there. So yeah, I was supposed to be a Georgia peach, and that did not end up happening. So, which is okay. I love it there, but I don't think that is made for a Southern California girl like me. The reason why my sister-in-law and her family live there, or why they originally moved there, was because they, her husband is in the military. And he ended up being based there for a very long time, and he is actually going to retire in a year or two. So, very happy for them. That's how long they've lived there. As old as my niece is almost, which she just turned 16 this year. She'll be 17 this June. And yeah, so, and yeah, he was in the military for a couple years before that too. And she was too, actually. They were both in the military originally. And so, yeah, very exciting, very exhausting life story. And that's only like the first, I would consider that like the first 6 months of, well, let's see, that's like 10 months. So like going into adulthood, like full force. So, yeah, I made some really crazy decisions, which I always kind of do. I'm always making crazy decisions, and you'll find out as I talk about my very interesting work resume that I have about all of the crazy things I've done. I make very split decisions. If I don't like something, I'm done, I'm gone. Sayonara, don't care, won't look back. On to the next. I've tried so many things. I've done so many things, been through so many things. It's just insane to think about it and look back on these past 15 years now. So, and I can't even believe it's been that long, because my son's going to be 15 this year in October, and that's why I say 15 years. So it's literally been since about this time 15 years ago. So it's crazy. So yeah, anyway, I am very crazy when it comes to making decisions and doing crazy, outlandish decisions with my life. And my family has gracefully been there to support me and be there for me the entire time, thank God. And I just have so much crazy experience and knowledge because of these decisions I've made. And, you know, I'm about to be 33 this year, and sometimes I can't believe it, and then other times I'm like, wow, you know, you've done it. And there's people out there your age just starting, you know, or around your age just starting to even think about these things, and you went ahead, you know, and did it without even thinking. I still am really ambitious, but I was like gung-ho, crazy ambitious. Like, I was insane. I do not know. I only know that I understand why my son is the way that he is. He is extremely headstrong and gung-ho about life in general. So he loves to make very swift decisions. He loves to be in charge. And to be honest with you, I'm not even surprised that he is like that, because that's who I am in a nutshell. And he went through every bit of that with me. So it's no surprise to me. I'm trying to find... Okay, this is fine. This was the color I was looking for. I'm not even surprised he is the way that he is. He literally has been through the thick of it all with me. Every single thing from the CNA down. So he was in me and out of me from the beginning. So I'm glad I did it that way though. Like, now that I'm only 33 and he's about to be 15, I regret nothing at all. I didn't even regret it when I had him from the get-go. I loved being a mom and all of it, even when I was younger. Even though everybody thought I was crazy, I didn't even care. He was literally the cutest baby. I have no regrets, and he was the sweetest baby. I don't think I could have asked for more, so... And he's turned out to be a pretty cool kid too, so if I do say so myself. And we're hoping that this color looks good on me. see. We will see. I know the liner's pretty, but I don't know what the heck I did with my other color. It's somewhere around here. This is a lighter pink. The other one is like more of a mauve-y, like darker pink, so we'll see. Oh, I like that still too. I definitely feel like I should have exfoliated my lips a little bit. This is a little more pink than I'm really interested in, so. Where did you go? Yeah, I should have exfoliated right there. Oh, is this staying now? Okay, we're sealed in and we're good to go. So anyway, that's my story time today. This is just the beginning of many wonderful, exciting story times that I have to tell you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. And yeah, so thank you again for watching. If you stayed this long, I always appreciate your time and energy that you give me. And like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.